I'm going to show you how to set up a Golang project the way I like to set them up. And this is an IntelliJ IDE. This would work for Golang IDE as well, I believe. I use the IntelliJ, which is the full featured version. So I've got two GitHub repositories. I've got the Golang training, which we'll all share. This will where I'll put in code that we can look at. And then I have an IDE project directory. Now this is mine. This is only for me. I don't share this with anybody else. This is a private repository. This is where all my IDE files are going to go. And I don't want to share these out. In fact, if I have secret set as environment variables or something like that, this is where they end up being saved. So we want this to be private. And again, NetApp has policies for this. I'm just talking about personal use. So two different ones. So I have already checked out the IDE project right here. And it's got, as you can see, it's got files in here. Good. And this is checked in bmixin 42 IDE. And I've populated it with a git ignore with already has a Golang training entry. And I'll explain why that is in a minute. So Golang training is the name of the directory we're going to check out. And I'm going to put this underneath the IDE repository. So the IDE is happy and it has all the files organized, but it will be its own Git root. That's why I put an ignore in the Git ignore for the IDE project, because I don't want these files getting checked in to the IDE project. I want them living on their own root under Golang training. So I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to check it out. Let's see, where am I? Git one. And yep, there's my Golang training directory. Put that there in my buffer. Now I'm going to go make a module for that. So I'm going to go file new module. I call it Golang training. And I'm going to leave the total project as IDE project. So hopefully all my IDE oriented files for Golang training will go in that. So let's create it and see what happens. Okay, so now I've got the module here. It did. It overwrote this. Okay, this is a little problem with the way I'm doing it because the IDE tries to be clever and it writes the makes a new file there overriding what you had checked in. So that's no problem. I'm just going to roll this bad boy back. And now it's what I checked out. And notice the module path in there. So this is all good. Let's double check some stuff. Make sure we can get something where we don't like it. Because sometimes that happens with these. So where am I? I am in the IDE project. And looky here, my Golang training module. This IML is a module file is underneath the IDE settings. I can do and get the status. I can see all these files are new. I can add the IDE file, the Golang training IML and project.iml. I can add these in. I can commit them. And these are going into the IDE files. And then in the Golang training, get the status. I only have the training ones in here. And this is how I set up a file, the project. One little thing you got to remember to do when you do IntelliJ is after you create the Golang project, you need to go into settings. You need to go under language and frameworks. And you can search for Go modules and you need to find the Go modules directories. So go root. Okay, we've got 19.3 selected and it is for Golang training. Got the Go path in here. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to add in a module path to make this thing happy. I already have a spot where I put all my mods. You can put it wherever you want. Do not put it in an area that gets checked in. I have user Mason mods. That's where I like to keep my Go modules. And I put that down in here. Remember, do not put this under a spot that gets checked in because that's going to create a whole bunch of junk that you do not want checked in. And that's how I create the projects. Now we can go in here, go into settings. You can go to version control, directory mappings. And we can see this unregistered root right here. Well, let's go ahead and register. That one. Let's see, I want to go down to Golang training. I want to make sure that's registered as a get root in here, so it knows it. Oh, didn't quite do that right. Yeah, let's make sure I got everything set up right the way I want it. Sometimes it gets a little weird. I don't need that. Did I not get that quite registered right? Oh yeah, ID project Golang training / as a Git repo. There we go. The reason we do that is as we do changes here, you click on this directory for Git commit. We want it to make sure that it just picks up what we have, which is nothing right now. This is how I set up the project. This works well. I can keep all my IDE settings outside of my source code, keeping one private and one public if I want. That's all I wanted to show you. Thanks.